Yes, my people, it's your boy Enzo, the realest in the game, and just like that, I'm back with another one. So, Shakur Stevenson defended his WBC lightweight title against William Zepeda with a 12-round unanimous decision last night at the Louis Armstrong Stadium in Queens. You know what? The scorecards from the judges were wider than I thought. Like that was quite wide. They gave Shakur Stevenson 10 rounds. I was like, whoa, you know what? I was doing a watch along last night, and as I was watching the fight, like with a naked eye, it seemed a little bit closer than that because William Zepeda, you know, in fairness to him, he was throwing a lot of punches in that fight, man. Like every single second of that fight, Shakur Stevenson was made to work. Even though, yeah, I would admit as well that the shots that William Zepeda was throwing, although they were in bunches, volumes, a lot of them shots were hitting the arm. Do you know what I mean? They were just skidding off the shoulder of Shakur Stevenson because Shakur Stevenson had that Philly shell defense. You know, the whole Floyd Mayweather defense. He had that all night. And I can kind of understand where the judges are coming from. Like how they're looking at it is that a lot of the more impactful punches, the punches that had more of an effect, the cleaner punches landed were coming from Shakur Stevenson, especially when both fighters got in the center of the ring. But nevertheless, man, we still have to give a lot of praise to William Zepeda because he made that fight very tough. And coming into this fight, Shakur Stevenson was under a lot of pressure because remember that statement that Turkey Al-Sheikh released where he was talking about the Tom and Jerry fighters. He doesn't want to see a Tom and Jerry fight in the ring. That was a direct, what do you call it? A direct message to Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney. You know, like Turkey Al-Sheikh was basically having a pop at them. And coming into this fight, Shakur Stevenson like kind of had something to prove. He had to go in there and show that now he's a dog. He can fight. He can stand and trade. And William Zepeda is that type of fighter that he'll make sure the fight does go like that. Because as I was watching the fight last night, it gave me that kind of Mayweather, Marcos Maidana type of vibe, you know, where Maidana will just push you to the ropes and throw bombs. And that's exactly what William Zepeda was doing. But in fairness to Shakur Stevenson, like I said, man, when they met in the center of the ring, he was popping off the combinations and he was landing the cleaner shots. And I guess that kind of wowed the judges, and the judges liked what they were seeing from Shakur Stevenson, what was coming back. And even when Shakur Stevenson was on the ropes, he was blocking a lot of the punches. A lot of them were skidding off the shoulder, you know what I mean? But Shakur Stevenson was hit. He was hit with a solid jab from William Zepeda. It kind of stumbled Shakur Stevenson a little bit. I would say he was caught a little bit off balance as well at the same time, to be fair to Shakur Stevenson. But, you know, nevertheless, like Zepeda still landed that jab. He looked solid. I thought, yo, Shakur Stevenson's in trouble here, but nah. He gathered himself together and he went on to kind of, you know, regain his composure and he boxed well. Shakur Stevenson, listen, all credit to him. I don't want to like be negative about Shakur Stevenson. He boxed well last night. He did well. He's maintained his undefeated record. William Zepeda, he's now lost after 33 fights. And this was the hardest fight for Shakur Stevenson thus far on paper. William Zepeda, he's just come off back-to-back victory against Tevin Farmer. So he's no joke, man. You know, he's the real deal himself. And a lot of people thought that Shakur Stevenson will be in trouble in this fight. He was always going to have to dig deep. And watching with a naked eye, yeah, like I said, it looked like a tough fight. You know, it looked like it was a war in there. You know, it looked like Shakur Stevenson really had to work for every second in that fight. Like, Zepeda never left him alone at any moment. He kept pushing back. Even when Shakur Stevenson will counter beautifully with the left hook or the straight left, or he'll come with the right hook, with the uppercut, you know, Zepeda will eat you and then just come straight back. You know, you start pushing Shakur Stevenson back. And that's one thing I noticed about Shakur Stevenson. If I'm gonna throw a little negative in there, there's not too many negative, but one of the negative and the criticism from Shakur Stevenson in that ring last night, he didn't look strong. You know, Zepeda looked like the stronger, physically bigger guy in there, and he was pushing, bullying Shakur Stevenson backing him off to the ropes. And I didn't like that. I was watching, I was thinking, yo, Shakur Stevenson, mate, stand your ground, keep the fight in the center of the ring. He had moments where he took it back to the center of the ring, but throughout the whole 12 rounds, like, Zepeda just kept pushing him back. And it just showed me that Shakur Stevenson hasn't really got that power in his punches. He hasn't got that pop where, you know, sometimes a fighter, you know, you might be pushing them back, but they'll hit you with a punch where the opponent goes, whoa, I don't want to take any more of that, you know, and they start backing off. They kind of like, you know, they don't want to engage no more. But whatever Shakur Stevenson threw at William Zepeda just kept coming back from it. He's like, it wasn't really having an effect on him, like it wasn't really troubling him. Obviously, he was eating those punches, and you know, Shakur Stevenson was scoring and he looked good to the judges. But in terms of like the impact on the fighter, as in the pain, like, you know, like it's just the effects, like I couldn't see. Zepeda just kept coming back. And that's a big warning sign for Shakur Stevenson. You know, when he starts fighting stronger guys and guys that have more power, someone like a Tank David, you know, Schofield, that's gonna be a problem for him. Abdullah Mason, you know, that's gonna be a problem for Shakur Stevenson. Even though he's a fantastic boxer, great skills, but listen, if William Zepeda is able to push him back and start teeing off on him, even though a lot of the shots were missing, William Zepeda didn't have that much power. But against someone like a Tank Davis, you know, Abdullah Mason, and guys like that, trust me, man, you know, Shakur Stevenson will be in trouble. He will be in trouble, and I want to see that fight as well. I really want to see that fight be Floyd Schofield and Shakur Stevenson. I think they should definitely run that back. I know that fight was missed back in February of this year in Riyadh season because Floyd Schofield suffered an illness, whatever. But I want to see them run that back. So things look very interesting in the lightweight division, 134 pounds. Obviously, we know Gervonta Davis, he's meant to be rematching Lamont Roach. Gervonta Davis got in trouble with the law, domestic violence. I don't know what's happening there. It's a bit crazy. Hopefully that fight still goes ahead. That's meant to be taking place on the 16th of August. And if Tank Davis was to come through that, it's not guaranteed because Lamont Roach, he put up a good performance in the first fight, and who's to say that he won't win in a rematch? So the winner of that might fight Shakur Stevenson. That would be a great fight. That would be a really good fight. That would be a 50-50 fight. Who else you got in there? We've also got in that division as well, like I said, Floyd Schofield. They can try and round that back. Now for the WBO title, Keyshawn Davis, obviously, look, he missed weight last time, so he got stripped of the title. You've got Abdullah Mason and Sam Noakes. They'll be fighting for that vacant title. You know, the winner from that, they could fight Shakur Stevenson, you know, and then they can fight for those belts as well. So interesting times in the 135-pound division. Once again, like I said, congratulations to Shakur Stevenson. He fought a good fight, you know, against a solid opponent who kept him honest for 12 rounds. And Shakur Stevenson had a lot to prove. He didn't come in there. He didn't run around. He didn't use lateral movement. He stood there, took some punches. He gave it back. And he was, at the end of the day, he was able to outbox and score the cleaner, more impactful shots in that fight. So congratulations to Shakur Stevenson. I want to see what's next for him. I want to see him against Tank Davis. I think that's the fight to make. I really do hope they make that fight. But guys and girls, let me know in the comments what you thought about that fight between Shakur Stevenson and William Zepeda. Did you have it, the scorecards that wide? Did you have Shakur Stevenson winning 10 rounds? I didn't. I thought maybe 4 rounds at max. You know, 10 rounds is like, whoa, that is crazy. I feel like the judges were being way too generous. But let me know in the comments what you think. I'll really appreciate that. Once again, it's your boy Enzo, the realest in the game. Thank you so much for watching EMGM Sports. I'll see you soon with another one. Until then, stay blessed, my people. Peace.